You've got buyers that are able to qualify for loans and get phenomenal interest rates, which is driving a lot of buyers into the real estate market. And you've got a lot of people that are afraid to list their property because they don't think that it's a good real estate market right now. We're going to do another weekly market update looking at the greater metro Atlanta area. So I did I set up a stat search for, again, it's going to be Cherokee, Cobb, DeKalb, Forsyth, and Fulton. And we're looking from January 2019 all the way through May of 2020. The green line is representative of active listings, the number of active listings. And you can kind of see that going into January, we kind of had the typical kind of drop off from October down to January. Things kind of level off. And then in February, we were starting to see like it tick back up. You can see from January of 2019 going into February that we're trending up. And we're trending up here, but then you can see we get into March and April, and then it just levels off, and then it starts to decline, the number of active listings on the market. In Georgia, the amount of inventory has always been really low. It's been really low ever since 2008. Because the demand is still there. So we're going back to the 10-year Treasury note. 10-year Treasury note, let's set it for 3 months. You're going to see this is the yield on it. And the yield is what determines mortgage interest rates. Well, they've been on the decline, all throughout this year. February, we started to get stock market instability. When the stock market's unstable, investors are pulling their money out of it. The money doesn't disappear. It's got to go someplace. It's got to go into bonds. Bonds are very stable vehicles to put your money into. You're not losing money on them either. Well, the 10-year Treasury bond is one of those. And you can see that we hit an all-time low with the 10-year Treasury bond on March 9th at 0.569%, which is unbelievable. It is the best time in the history of America to take a loan out on a property. I had a personal account of a client that he managed to close right during the center of this. When he got into this, he thought that his mortgage payment was going to be $1,200. And then after this hit, it dropped $300. His final mortgage payment ended up being about $900. And you can still take advantage of that. We're still, it ticked up a little bit to recover, but it's been depressed ever since then. And it still is. Now, eventually it's going to go up. People will start being less worried about the stock market, and they're going to want to reinvest their money in the stock market to get good gains. This is the number. We were looking at the number of listings on the market. You would think that because there's a lot of fear about going out and being in public in regards to listing a property or going out and looking at homes, that would kind of stifle the real estate marketplace. That's not true at all. We watched from January all the way through now the number of days that it takes a property to sell. So this is January 2020. We're seeing over 35 days to sell a property on a median. Right now, we're looking at closer to 14 days to sell a property. That's blistering fast. In a marketplace where there's very little competition, if you're thinking about listing your property, now is definitely the time to try to list your property. It's a phenomenal time to be in real estate. If you're listing your property, you have less competition, which is going to give you more bargaining power. If you're a buyer, your interest rate is going to be bonkers low. I'm hearing about interest rates that are closing around 2.85%. That's phenomenal, especially when you consider that back in 2013, we were seeing interest rates closer to 6 or 7%. If you're thinking about getting into the marketplace, now is definitely the time to do it.